Hello and welcome to the Awesome 180 channel. I'm Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach. And today is a very special episode. It's something that I didn't want to touch. It's something I didn't want to get into because I don't feel like raising hysteria and panic over these things is important. But I just got so many requests on it, so I thought I would do it. Today we're going to talk about the coronavirus. So there are lots of rumors going around about how it started. Was it from animals? Was it bio-warfare? Was it a technique to carve out all the elderly people in China? There's just too many theories on this. It doesn't matter. What actually matters is how we're taking care of ourselves. Because otherwise you can just get so lost in this hysteria and panic that it's just going to drive you bananas. The coronavirus scare is obviously a real thing. For example, we had 3 workshops that were taking place in Singapore, Dubai, and one in New Zealand. And we had to cancel all of these because of this virus. My big mission is to not promote panic, but to understand, figure out if you're taking care of yourself or not. So I want you to understand this whole coronavirus prevention at 2 stages. The first stage is not to get it. The only way that we found out to date on how not to get it is to avoid as much social interaction as possible. So don't go to crowded places if you don't need to. Don't get into aircrafts if you don't need to. Don't get into trains if you don't need to. Or go for concerts, for example. Unless you really have to, don't go for these things. So the idea is to avoid your social interaction as much as possible. That doesn't mean that you don't go out and meet friends. That doesn't mean that you don't continue living your life. It just means that you're more aware of it. Of course, things like washing hands are important, but it's not as important as distancing yourself. What I want to talk about now is the only way that we've learned to deal with the coronavirus, which is by boosting our immunity. What this means is that we will get a virus. If we do get infected, our bodies are strong enough to deal with it, to create enough antibodies for it. Now, one thing we've noticed is that the coronavirus is affecting the elderly, the weak, and people whose immunity systems have been compromised. So our job is to keep our immunity up as much as possible. And there are 3 ways of doing this. One is through the food that we eat. So the first thing is that start eating good quality, fresh food. That's so important because if you're eating junk food, then half the time our body's energy is spent in digesting and fighting the junk food instead of fighting the bad guys. So it's not just about having that clean, fresh, good quality food, but also the right supplements. Supplements like a vitamin C supplement. You don't have to get anything fancy. A normal vitamin C supplement will do. But have 1 dose in the morning, 1 dose in the evening. Just basically keep the vitamin C supplement up and running. The next thing, and most important when it comes to immunity, is sleep. If we don't focus on our sleep quality, the body can't create the defense mechanisms to fight these viruses off. So it's important to get good, deep sleep and long hours of sleep. So for example, I've noticed whenever I had 4 hours of sleep, I've always gotten a cold or feverish the next day. What has happened is that my body's immunity has dropped and hence I'm feeling like this. So keeping yourself well rested is extremely important. Remember again, this is a self-care technique. And the last thing is about hydration. Make sure that you're hydrated because hydration helps fighting these viruses off. Also, there are so many other drinks that you can take. For example, a turmeric tea. Using turmeric, pepper, ginger, just boil them all together, add a little ghee and blitz it and you're set. These are fantastic immunity boosting tips. The next is all the stuff that our grandmother used to tell us. Chicken soup, vegetable soup. Drink these things. These are good, nutritious meals. In the end, the coronavirus is not something that's fly by night. It might not go away with the seasons. It could be there for a longer period of time. This is not to scare you, but to say that if we maintain our immunity, if we become stronger ourselves, we have a better chance at fighting this if we ever do contract it. And that's the way I'm thinking about it. It's not about not living our life, but it's about if we do get it, how are we strong and able to handle it? And this is when I want to give you my habit coach pro tip. If you feel these symptoms, please visit a doctor. This video is not meant as medical advice. I'm not a doctor. So please go visit a doctor and understand what medications you should be taking. Don't self-medicate just because you start feeling sick. It's important to understand that this is something serious and sometimes you have to go visit a doctor for these things. So your habit for the week is to figure out what are these immunity boosting things are you going to add to your daily life? How are you going to make your life less stressful? How are you going to let your body recover and be strong enough to fight out whatever virus comes its way? If you found this video helpful, please remember to share it with friends and family who are panicking about the coronavirus. Please remember to hit like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, there's a little bell icon on the side. Click that so you're aware when new future videos come out. I'm Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach. And remember, awesome lives start with awesome habits.